Hare Krishna. So, warm welcome to all the devotees who have joined for the satsang program, and for those who have joined online as well. Uh, so, last time, we started, we went on a different path, a very nice path. Instead of continuing on Srimad Bhagavatam, we started discussing from Ram Katha, Sri Ramayana, the all auspicious Ramayana, which is so beautiful. Ramayana and Mahabharata both have this characteristic. Once you start reading, you can't stop. Just keeps going. It's like one. It's so beautiful. The whole chain of events is so beautiful and so inspiring that we feel like हमें समन करता है कि और सुने और like that. So since Ram Navami was there, we decided to start doing Ram Katha a little bit. And I think on last Friday, we celebrated Sita Navami. Friday or yesterday? Yesterday. Celebrated Sita Navami. And weekends go so fast nowadays, to समझ में नहीं आता. Full birthday Krishna. So yeah, so it's appropriate that we are discussing Ram Katha. So, last time we discussed up to the point where Prabhu Ramchandra, he accepts the order of his father. It's not really the order of his father, but the vow, the boon that has been given by Dasharat Maharaj to his wife Kaikeyi. Lord Ram accepts it. And he says, okay, if I'm happy to go, and he decides to leave. And he came to the point where they come to say goodbye to Dashrath, and they are wearing, this forest bark, tree bark wala tree clothes. And Sita Maya also, when she sees, she's bewildered. She doesn't know what to do with that. And then Ram, puts the dress for her, and then they decide to leave. So when they decide to leave, actually, Sumantra puts Ram, Sita, and Lakshman onto the chariot and starts driving out. And all the Ayodhya Vasis, they are rounding. Like Krishna was asked by Akrura to come with him to Mathura, leave Vrindavan, come to Mathura. It was the same thing. All the Brajvasis were surrounding the chariot, not allowing him to go forward. Here it was much more. The numbers were much larger. Ayodhya Vasis, they were just not allowing the chariot to move forward. पूरा घेर के रखा था नहीं जाने देंगे हम. We are not happy with this decision. We don't want the Lord to go. So somehow Ram was telling Sumantra, Chabu, keep moving, because once the chariot starts moving, somehow struggling and moving forward, he hears from behind that Dashrath is calling him. Dashrath is telling Sumantra that stop, don't go, please come back. He's telling, like that please come back. So Ram tells Sumantra, you please speed up. He says that ये इसको और लंबा नहीं खींचना चाहिए, should not prolong it any further. So he tells him that if my father, for any reason, if he chastises you, that I told you to stop, why you didn't stop? You tell him that I couldn't hear you. मुझे सुना ही नहीं दिया, उसके लिए मैं निकल गया, Because I don't want that again he catches up with us. Dasharatha is coming running from behind. Please stop, and please go now. They leave, and they go. I mentioned that last time that he kind of the Ayodhya Vasis also follow. They said we are also coming. हमको नहीं रुकना है यहाँ पे. अयोध्या नगरी में रह के क्या करेंगे हम लोग? If you are not here, we have no pleasure in leaving this Ayodhya. So they also come, but at one point Ram somehow gives them the slip. Somehow निकल जाते हैं रात के समय में. He somehow manages to get away, and after he leaves, then they come to a point. They meet Guha. So they meet Guha, who is a friend of Lord Ram. He's a friend. He's a king of that Nishad clan. And well, you can keep it here. Get phone. So he Guha as his friend. So Guha tells him, "You stay here. Forest, आपका ही है. This whole land is yours." So technically it is correct because Ayodhya was the leader of the world at that time, and all the kings were kind of laying allegiance to King Dasharath. He says, "This is your land. You can stay here. आप यहीं पे रहो. हम लोग आपका सब प्रबंध करेंगे एकदम comfortably. Don't worry. Everything we will manage to." Ram says, "No, I don't want to because that is not appropriate. Because I am supposed to live in forest, so I am supposed to live like an ascetic. I can't live a comfortable life living here." And so therefore, he says, so then he stays one night with Guha. And he says, "Guha, sir, I'll arrange nice sleeping." He says, "No, I'll sleep on the floor." So he sleeps on the forest floor under a tree. So Guha lays out some grass for him there. And on that grass he sleeps. He and Sita both sleep on the ground under a tree. And Guha is very, and Guha offers him nice food. He says, "No, I will not take anything. I'll just take water." He just drinks water. He doesn't take anything opulent. He just sleeps. So like that, then after that, Guha helps him to cross the Ganges. Guha stays near the Ganges. He helps him to cross the Ganges. And after that, then Guha, he stays, and Lord Ram goes forward. And after going forward, he tells Sumantra that from now this point, अभी आप वापस चले जाओ. You go back. He says. So Sumantra tells him that how can I go back? He says that no, he says that first of all he tells Sumantra that you please ensure that you carry out the king's instructions. Okay, even if he asks you to serve Kaikeyi, because he says that even if the king asks you to serve Kaikeyi, you should not say no. Lord Ram is so sensitive that he is thinking about Kaikeyi, though she is the reason for him getting banished. He is thinking that if these soldiers, all these ministers, and all of them, they decide to undermine Kaikeyi. मतलब Kaikeyi जो भी बोले हम नहीं सुने, क्या कर देंगे? कुछ भी, So he specifically gives instruction to him that you must follow the orders of the king, and even if he tells you to obey Kaikeyi, you have to do it. So that is what, because he doesn't want also that iski wajah se, Dasharath Maharaj has any anxiety. Dasharath Maharaj should not have anxiety that these people are not listening to me. So Ram is ensuring that also. And then when he is leaving, Sumantra says that how can I go back with an empty chariot to Ayodhya? When I went with you, Lakshman and Sita. Now, if I come back to Ayodhya with an empty chariot, मतलब chariot में कोई नहीं है, सिर्फ मैं ही हूँ, तो लोगों का हृदय पूरा चूर हो जाएगा. They will be shattered because they are somehow hoping that you will change your mind, I will change your mind, somebody will change your mind, and you will come back. आप नहीं आए, they will be shattered. आप कैसे मैं? But Ram refuses. Says, "No, you please go back." So then he goes forward. Sumatra goes back. With the heart broken, he goes back. And we discussed that Dasharath, leaves his body. And Ram going forward, he meets this Bharatvaj Rishi. Bharatvaj Rishi he meets. And that Bharatvaj Rishi tells him, this is after crossing the Ganges, forward he goes. He tells Bharatvaj Rishi is a beautiful, very beautiful place it is. Very beautiful, just near the Ganges only. Bharatvaj Rishi, he stays with him for a day or two. And Bharatvaj Rishi tells him that, "Ab yahi pe reh jao. You can stay here. This is forest only. So you stay here." So Ram says that, "No, I cannot stay with you." He says, "Why you can't stay with me?" He says, "Because this place is too close to Ayodhya. As the mantra has been that I have come here. So slowly Ayodhya Vasi bhi yahan pe aa jayenge. And within no time, it will be, all the Ayodhya Vasis will also want to stay here, and Ayodhya ujad ho jayega, and I will not be able to live as an ascetic over here." He says, "Tell me a good place where I can go." So then Bharatwaj Rishi tells him that you should go to this mountain, which is about 50 miles from here. That mountain area is called Chitrakoot. You should go to Chitrakoot. So in Ramayana, a very beautiful description is given of Chitrakoot. I won't go into all that detail because it is very long. But suffice it to say, it is like a heavenly planet. Sorry. Yeah. Yours is what? Yeah. So we said that today we will discuss around Bharat's response, right? And this response by Bharat is such a wonderful thing. Matlab, see, we see in this world, everyone says no Ramayana, Ramayana. What's so great about Ramayana? Ramayana में से कैसे कौन सी खास बात है? Why everyone likes to hear Ramayana? Because Ramayana is filled with characters who are so perfect that you desire कि ऐसा कोई व्यक्ति हमारे जिंदगी में क्यों नहीं, you know, just by seeing these people, they are so wonderful. So it is described that after Dashrath passes away, Vashishta, who is the full guru of the Ayodhya, he sends messengers that go and bring Bharat and Shatrughan. They are staying at their mama's place. They are staying there, so go and bring them. But उनको कुछ बताओ मत. Just tell them come back urgently. Fast, जल्दी आओ. लेकिन कुछ मत बताओ उनको. क्यों पूछा तो नहीं बोलेगा. सिर्फ मैसेज करो भाग जाएगा. So they go there, give the message, and very quickly Bharat also rushes back. Bharat and Shatrughan rush back. And when they come to Ayodhya, when Bharat enters Ayodhya, he sees all kinds of ill omens. He sees that, first of all, he sees that the people in Ayodhya, the roads are looking all deserted. कोई घर से बाहर निकला नहीं है. जो घर को ऐसे हमेशा सजा के रखते थे, सब घर ऐसा शमशान जैसा लग रहा है. The whole पूरा शहर जो है शमशान लग रहा है. कहीं पे भी कुछ जान दिख नहीं रही है. He sees vultures, he sees jackals crying, a lot of bad omens he sees. And then he comes to the palace, and in the palace he sees that Arey, Dashrath Maharaj is not here to welcome me. Normally, whenever I come, my father is here. Even though I'm grown up, he makes me sit in his lap and lovingly he talks, encourages. आज वो नजर नहीं आ रहे, कहाँ पे है वो? Where is he? And then he goes to his mother. He goes to Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi, she gives him the news. He asks that where is Ram? Bharat first he suspects. पहले उनको लगता है जल्दी बुलाया मतलब he suspects that Ram is going to be coronated as Prince Regent. इसलिए मेरे को जल्दी बुलाया रहेगा. And he's very happy about it. But he's still a little unsure because he's seen some bad dreams and everything. So he's not sure. But after coming there, when he meets Kaikeyi, he tells Kaikeyi that where is my father? Why I don't see Lord Ram? Why I don't see his moonlight face? So where is he? So Kaikeyi tells him as though it is good news. Your father actually passed away, but now you are the undisputed king of the entire earth, and your brother Ram, Lakshman, and Sita are going to live in the forest for the next 14 years. ऐसे बोल देती है वो, as though she is giving some good news. कि good news. Father passed away, but good news. No, you are the king. Father is gone, but no, you are the king, and Ram is not there in the picture. But when he hears this, his face freezes. It's like, what? क्या बात कर रहे हो? How is this even possible? मतलब आपने एक शॉट में मेरा मेरा जीवन खत्म कर दिया. You finished my life. He says, first, you're telling me father is gone. Second, you're telling me Ram is also gone. And now you're telling me I have to rule this kingdom as with some good news. What kind of nonsense? he gets his completely, he abuses her and he all kinds of horrible things he says about her. He says, "You are not my mother. I don't accept कि तू मेरी माँ हो ही नहीं सकती. I can't accept. How can you be like this? How can you get, for me, you are doing something like this? How did you even think that I would accept? Matlab, you don't know Ram also, you don't know my father also, you don't know me also. What kind of a mother are you? So, and he like, getting desperate. He starts thinking कि Kaikeyi ने जो किया है इसको कैसे भी अपने को रिवर्स करने का है. We can't allow this to continue. This is a big problem. बहुत बड़ा problem हो गया है ये. इसको किसी भी हाल में अपने को अभी रिवर्स करना है. चेयर से पीछे बहुत सारा. So I have to somehow reverse this. कैसे भी करके इसको रिवर्स करना है. मतलब पहले जाके फॉरेस्ट में जाके राम को ढूंढना है और उनको वापस लेके आना है. And he has to establish. वो सोचने लगते हैं कहीं रामचंद्र श्री राम ने ये तो नहीं सोच लिया कि मैं भी इस षड्यंत्र में कहीं तो मिला हूं. He starts getting very tense. He said, I hope that Ram doesn't think that I had any part of this. मुझे ये मालूम ही नहीं था. He starts loudly shouting to everyone that this lady I reject her. I don't have anything to do with her plan. मुझे नहीं चाहिए राज्य वाज्य कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए. और पहले तो मुझे ये एस्टैब्लिश करना है कि कैकेयी जो किया है उसमें मेरा कोई लेना देना. He is very disturbed. So he first goes and he meets Kaushalya because he realizes that Kaushalya must be completely shattered if Ram is not there. One who could not stay without seeing Lord Ram for even 1 minute. 1 minute she could not live without him. And if now he's gone away for 14 years, Jai Ho, what a nice, very auspicious. So 14 years is going to be where Kaushalya Mata must be shattered. So first he goes to meet Mother Kaushalya. And when Kaushalya meets him, now just see, okay, Bharat is coming there with all the best intentions. His intention is what? To reverse what Kaikeyi has done. जो भी किया उसका उल्टा, उसको राम को वापस लाना है, उसको किंग बनाना है, मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए, right? He wants to reverse. So he goes to Kaushalya, and Kaushalya, when she meets him, she tells she's like she looks like a like a cow that has lost her calf. She's completely morose. उनका चेहरा पूरा उतरा हुआ है. She's dressed in white, and she goes and tells when he goes to Kaushalya, Bharat meets her and pays obeisances, and she tells him that now you can enjoy this kingdom. It is stripped of all its enemies. आपके जो भी दुश्मन हैं वो तो सब चले गए. तो अभी आप ये kingdom पे राज करो, enjoy करो. Your plan has succeeded. Now you take me into the forest and leave me in the forest with Ram. Bharat hears this. He said, Mother, this was not my plan. You actually think I had something to do with this? I would never give up my Lord Ram. I'd rather give up my life than to, allow something like this to happen. Immediately, I will go to the forest and I will bring Ram back. Mother, I don't have anything to do with this. I don't want to, don't want this kingdom. Kuch nahi chahiye. So both of them start crying, and both of them they fall unconscious, thinking of Ram, and they wake up and they're like, but still Bharat becomes hopeful. He says कि कौशल्या माता का blessings है, अब मैं राम को वापस लेके आऊंगा. I will bring him back. So next day Vashishta tells Bharat that पहले रुको, you have to perform the last rites of Dashrath. Dashrath Maharaj, his body has been kept in oil. They're waiting for you. So उनका last rites perform करना पड़ेगा. उसके बाद हम लोग देखते हैं. So then they perform all the last rites. ऐसा 12-14 दिन निकल जाता है. After they coming back from the last rites, okay, Shatrugna is thinking कि Bharat and Shatrugna both are there, na? So Shatrugna is thinking वो सोच रहे हैं कि ऐसा कैसा, how is it? He also knows that Mother Kaikeyi is not like this. Mother Kaikeyi is not like this. She loved Ram as much, if not more than Bharat. इतना प्रेम करती थी राम से, मतलब अपने खुद के पुत्र से ज्यादा वो राम से प्यार करती। तो कैसा हो सकता है? और शत्रुघ्न इज थिंकिंग कि ये इतना सब बुरा सब हो गया, फादर डाइड, राम हैज गॉन, किंगडम उजाड़ हो गया, how is this even possible? So at that time, he then remembers that Manthara. She is the cause of all this. And he sees Manthara walking there wearing nice jewelry and ornaments. He goes and grabs her by the hand and he starts dragging her into the palace. Come here, you evil woman! Because of you, all this has happened. I am going to kill you. मैं आपको खत्म कर दूंगा यहीं पे. She starts shrieking in fear. Please save me, Kaikeyi, save me, save me. She's shouting like that. Kaikeyi comes. She sees Shatrughna in a rage, trembling with anger. She doesn't know what to do, how to stop him. कैसे रोकूं उसको? Because he's like, oh, Kshatriya, what to do? That time Bharat comes and Bharat says, Shatrughna, जाने छोड़ दो. He says that forgive her. He says, if it was allowed, if the law allowed it, I would have killed my mother also. I would have killed Kaikeyi. But the law, the eternal law doesn't allow for someone to kill his own mother. Otherwise, I would have not hesitated once. I would have killed Kaikeyi. It is not allowed to kill women like this. We cannot kill women. So that is one thing. And more importantly, Ram will not be pleased if he comes to know that we have killed a woman. Even if she is the cause for all this, पूरा मतलब मुसीबत की जड़ यही है. लेकिन फिर भी इसको अगर मारेंगे, राम जी को, he will not be pleased. छोड़ दो, जाने दो. Kaikeyi also starts to realize. Well, she was not expecting this. उसको लगा कि भरत तो बहुत प्रसन्न होगा कि अरे राज्य छिन गया मेरे, and there is no opposition, nothing. She also realizes that she also starts thinking philosophically that how is it possible that मैं ये मंथरा का बात में हमेशा ऐसे ही बात करती है, इसका ये दिन मैंने बात क्यों सुना? So it is described, like last time I touched upon it, that it is actually the higher powers, the demigods, who influence Manthara to speak those words, and they influence Kaikeyi to be influenced by those words, because the destiny was going in that direction. So after this is over, Vashishta tells Bharat Maharaj that देखो भैया अभी we have to crown you, as the king. We have to crown you as the king, and let's start, because that is what Ram also wanted. You should be crowned as a king. So आप जो है अभी आ जाओ. This is the throne. So Bharat, like Ram, when he was shown the throne, and his mother Kaushalya had, after Kaikeyi had told him what the boons are, he had come to meet Kaushalya. Kaushalya told him, see, this is your throne. So Ram just touches the throne out of respect, encircles it, and he sits on the floor with her. So Bharat also does the same thing. Bharat, when he is offered the throne by Vashishta, just touches the throne. Sachin takes a circle and says, Hare Krishna. मुझे नहीं चाहिए. I don't want this, right? So like that. So he says, छोड़ो ये सब. Let us go to the forest. Let us bring Ram back. In fact, उनको forest में ही हम लोग we will crown him as the king. वो शुभ काम में देरी कैसी? उनको वापस लाएंगे, फिर क्राउन करेंगे, तो सब मेहनत कौन करेगा? सब कुछ लेके जाते हैं, पूरा अपना पैराफर्नेलिया, आर्मी सब लेके जाते हैं फॉरेस्ट में, और फॉरेस्ट में ही उनको क्राउन करके वापस full like a king we will bring him back. ऐसा करके, and he gets very excited when he is making this plan only. Bharat is getting very excited. He is so happy कि राम को वापस लेके आए. And he says, I will stay in the forest for 14 years. Let Ram come back. मैं रहूंगा 14 साल वनवास में. मेरे माँ के जो wicked plan है, उसमें कभी भी I will not allow it to succeed. I will not allow this evil plan of my mother Kaikeyi to succeed under any circumstance. मैं उसको वो खुशी दूंगा ही. I will go and stay in the forest. So this is the plan, okay, he is making. So he leaves, takes a big army, 1 lakh army is there, 9,000 elephants, 60,000 chariots, thousands of citizens. They all go towards the forest. Okay. So first, उनको भी रास्ते में पहले कौन मिलता है? They meet Guha, Nishad Raj Guha. So when they meet Nishad Raj also sees from a distance that Bharat aa raha hai, the big army. So he tells his people, looks like इसका नियत अच्छा नहीं है. He must be wanting to know, मतलब लास्ट जो वनवास में है तो उनको भी हटा दो, अभी मैं undisputed king रहूंगा. Maybe his intentions are not correct. So he tells his people that let there be 100 boats filled with some 100 fighters each on the other side of the Ganges. हम लोग यहाँ पे थोड़े रहेंगे, थोड़े वहाँ पे रहेंगे. We will give up our lives for Lord Ram, but we will not make it easy for them to fight, to kill Ram. So like this, he says, and then he goes alone with few soldiers to meet Bharat. थोड़ा आगे जाके भरत से मिलते हैं और भरत से जाके मिलते हैं, बोलते हैं welcome to our kingdom. This kingdom is your kingdom. Your brother was my very dear friend, so you are also by that definition my dear friend. So what brings you here? Yeah, तेरे तिरछे वैसे पूछते हैं कि कहीं आपका कुछ गलत इंटेंशन तो नहीं है ना, ऐसे करके झिझक झिझक के उनको पूछते हैं, डर डर के पूछते हैं. No, in fact, I am here to bring Lord Ram back. मैं राम को वापस लेने के लिए आया हूँ. मेरा कोई इंटेंशन नहीं है राजा बनने का. मैं राम को I will bring him back. I will tightly press his lotus feet on my head, and I will be his servant. I do not want the kingdom. Do not have any doubts about me. So I am here to bring Ram to Ayodhya. Then he asks Guha that when Lord Ram was here, what did he eat? What did he wear? Where did he sleep? उनको सवाल पूछते हैं. So Guha tells him that he didn't eat anything. He only had water because he said that ये राज्य का खाना है, मैं नहीं खा सकता. Even though it's a forest, but you're like a king in the forest. I can't eat this. So Bharat, I says, where did he sleep? So he shows him that he slept here on this, on this floor, on this grass. When he hears this, he says, he goes to that spot, he touches that grass. Bharat touches that grass, and he sees that my Lord Ram, who is never slept on anything but the best of beds, the best high bed he has slept on. Because of me, he has to now sleep on the floor, and he sees that Mother Sita was sleeping over there next to him. He sees that from her clothing, little gold filament is lying over there. And he says, I am ruined. मैं तो तबाह हो गया, मैं तो नाश हो गया मेरा. I am finished. He says, that moment he takes a vow. He says, from this moment, I will eat only simple forest food. I will also, and he hears Ram. He says that Ram and Lakshman, they decided to, when they were there, when they were staying with Guha, Ram actually tied his hair, took the sap of the banyan tree, and he matted his hair. मतलब बाल को thick बनाते हैं ना, ऐसा mat करते हैं. He matted. Lakshman and Ram matted their hair. So he says, from now on, I will eat only simple forest food. Whatever comes from forest, वही खाऊंगा. I will also mat my hair. I will also wear bark clothes, and I will sleep on the ground. So this is Bharat's response. He says that ये सब मेरी वजह से हुआ है, and Ram definitely does not deserve this. I deserve it. So he says, from this moment, I will do this. So then, Guha tells him how to cross the river Ganges. And there is a story of this cave that Yamuna Prabhu told very nicely in Japa talk yesterday. I'll not cover that because then we'll not be able to cover the rest of it. But those of you who have not heard the Japa talk Talga, please hear it. Very, very beautiful. Prabhuji spoke about 5G. Very nice it was. Okay, so then Bharat, along with his whole army, all the queens and all of them have come. The Ayodhya Vasis have come. The three queens, three principal queens have come. Sumantra has come. Vasishta has come. All of them have come and they have crossed. They crossed the river. So when they cross the river, they meet Bharadwaj Rishi. When they meet Bharadwaj Rishi, Bharadwaj first, Bharat goes and meets him alone first. And he pays full obeisances to full dandavat. Like Lord Ram before him, he also does the same thing, goes and pays full obeisances to Bharadwaj. And Bharadwaj tells him that because of your mother's words, you are now the undisputed monarch of the world. आप तो एम्परर बन गए आपके माँ के वचन की वजह से तो आई ट्रस्ट दैट आप कुछ गलत इंटेंशन लेके तो यहाँ राम जी की तरफ टुवर्ड्स द परफेक्ट एंड सिनलेस राम आई होप यू डोंट हैव एनी रॉन्ग इंटेंशन नाउ फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल पहले तो गुहा ने बोला पहले तो कौशल्या ने बोला फिर गुहा ने भी वही बात बोला नाउ इवन भारद्वाज सो इवन ही सेज that it is that he feels desperate. Bharat starts despairing. He feels that no one believes me. कोई किसी को लगता नहीं है कि मेरा इंटेंशन इसमें नहीं था मेरा इसमें कोई हाथ नहीं था. He says that now if even the great Brahmana you don't believe me then I am finished. मैं कहाँ जाऊँ? Where do I hide my face? Roju, you can sit on the chair if you want. Beautiful chair. Chair पे बैठ. वहाँ पे भी है chairs. So, yeah. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So he says that. So Bharat, feeling that no one would believe that he is innocent. See what a situation, na? Bharat has such a pure heart, but no one believes. Everyone is asking the same question. यहाँ क्यों है? इतना सब बात पे लेके क्यों है? No one believes it. No one, right? And this can happen. See, Ramayana is not meant only for some theoretical, enjoyment of the beauty of the past times. You have to see that it's relevant in our lives. हमें भी कभी कभी हम लोग भक्ति जब कर रहे हैं कोई हमें मिसअंडरस्टैंड करता है. You may do bhakti with all sincere intention, but still someone may read motive into your actions. They may see that ये ऐसे बोल रहा है तो जरूर इसका कोई इसमें definitely there is some intention over here, like that. So yeah. So we may also face, like Bharat Maharaj, we may also face people who may misunderstand our motives, who may feel that we are not a. Now, how we should respond? Suppose you are doing devotional service, you are doing some service, okay, and people misunderstand you. Happens when you are working also in your office, you will be working with all sincerity, but people misunderstand. बड़ा शाइनिंग मार रहे हैं अपना बॉस को दिखाने के लिए कर रहे हैं. हम सिंसियरली काम कर रहे हैं नहीं यू आर ट्राइंग टू इम्प्रेस. हाउ शुड वी रिस्पॉन्ड? एनीबॉडी? Suppose someone accuses you wrongly, how should we respond? Ignore. Ignore. Okay. But if 5 people are now saying the same thing, then it's very difficult, isn't it? Because your intention is pure, but the persons in front are not accepting it. Everyone feels कि तो obvious है यार, तुम्हारा कुछ तो इसमें फायदा था, कोई निजी आपका इसमें फायदा था, सब लोग यही सोच रहे हैं. So we have to understand that as devotees also, even though you may be, thank you. So even as devotees, even if you are trying to perform pure devotional service, you may still run into situations where somebody may accuse you. Somebody may say that you are, you had some motive behind this. You are trying to protect this devotee. You are trying to do this. You are trying to do that. But what we have to do? Put our head down like Bharat and just keep doing the right thing. Right? If you know what you are doing is correct, if you know what you are doing, your heart is clean. I am following instructions of my guru, and I did not have any ulterior motive in whatever I did. If your heart is clean, like Bharat, you just keep going. So when Bharat, breaks down in front of Bharadwaj Muni, so Bharadwaj also smiled and he assures him that no, I know your heart. So I know your heart. He says that I understand that you are here to, to search for Lord Ram. He says that you will be glorified in all three worlds, for your actions. And he shows them that they have gone to Chitrakoot. Shows them the way towards Chitrakoot. So now Bharat and his army, and okay, there's also big description given in Ramayana that when all the पहले Bharat आगे गए ना to meet Bharadwaj Muni. Now the army comes and Bharadwaj Muni says, you please stay here. आप लोग सब मेरे आश्रम में एक दो दिन रुको और फिर बाद में आप लोग आगे बढ़ो. So Bharat says that already हम लोग, he says that इतने लोग आपके आश्रम से सिर्फ गुजरे तो भी will be creating a lot of destruction. There are lakhs of people. So he says that, and yeah, I have taken your hospitality. I am grateful. Bas. Bharat Muni says, don't worry, I will manage everything. And Bharat Muni, he is such a powerful rishi. He sits in meditation. There's a whole description given in Ramayana of what he creates on the spot. Okay, I'll not go into that description. Same reason, because we have to go forward. But he literally creates like a heavenly planet in that space of his ashram for all those 1 lakh soldiers and elephants and horses and everyone to enjoy like they can't. मतलब कभी जिंदगी में ऐसा enjoyment देखा नहीं है. उस तरह का he creates environment for them for those 2 days that they are there. Then they leave and then everything is gone. In a day, everything is gone. So like that. So then they leave for Chitrakoot. Now, as they come towards Chitrakoot, Lord Ram, now the description goes back, Ramayana moves back to Ram, Sita, and Lakshman. They are living in Chitrakoot, and a very, very beautiful description is given of Chitrakoot also. That the mountain, some part of it looked blue and green, some part of it looked silver, some part of it looked reddish, very beautifully, and it is described that Gandharvas and Kinnaras would come there to sport with their wives. It's a very, very beautiful place. Like जैसा इंडिया वाले कहीं घूमना चाहते हैं तो न्यूजीलैंड जाते हैं या हवाई जाते हैं. वैसा the Gandharvas and Kinnaras would come to Chitrakoot. It was beautiful, right? So like that. And Ram, Sita, and Lakshman are staying there. Ram is, very happy. He's very happy over there. This is so beautiful. He says he's talking to Sita, telling Sita Maiya that Sita, I am so happy to be here with you. यहाँ पे कोई disturbance नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. लक्ष्मण खड़ा है, अपना गांडी तो इसका है, अर्जुन का है. But अपना वो पकड़े हुए खड़े हैं. There is no danger to us from animals or rakshasas or anything. Very peaceful over here. And because of that, he sees that we can spend some nice time, so peaceful, so beautiful. Just see over here, there are those Gandharvas. See there are those Kinnaras. Such beautiful things are going on. So let's take our mid-afternoon, bath in the river. He tells Lakshman, just you be here, we are just taking bath and coming. So as they go towards the river, he sees a cloud of dust. It's a cloud of dust. So Ram tells Lakshman, and he sees all the animals running helter skelter in fear. Animals, birds flying everywhere. तो वो बोलते हैं लक्ष्मण को, जरा तुम जरा एक पेड़ पे चढ़ के देखो तो looks like some enemy is coming towards us, you know, clearly coming in our direction. जरा एक बार चढ़ के देखो तो. So he climbs, Lakshman climbs on a tall tree and he looks on there and he says, yes, it does seem to be an army. He says that अच्छा है मैं ये मेरा ये जो मेरा बो एंड एरो है ये ऐसे ही जंग पकड़ रहा है तो इसको मैं कुछ यूज करने का मौका. तो राम टेल्स जस्ट सी एक बार वो उनका जो एम्ब्लेम रहता है फ्लैग रहता है वो किसका जरा एक बार देखो तो हु इट इज हु इज अटैकिंग. He looks carefully and he sees that on the flag of the on the flag there is the emblem of a Kovidara tree. Kovidara tree is the emblem of Bharat. He says, I can see the emblem of Bharat on that flag. Looks like Bharat is not satisfied that he's become the king. He is not satisfied that here in Vanvas he has come with a huge army to attack and kill us. He says, he declares, I will today with my whatever weapons I have, with whatever I have learned, with that, I will personally destroy Bharat. I will kill Bharat. I will kill the entire army, and I will reinstate you as the king of Ayodhya. आज मैं ये करके ही रहूं. लक्ष्मण ऐसा बोल. And then when he comes down, Ram chastises him. So this is a long chastisement, and this is giving very short. Ram उसको सुनाते हैं ढंग से, very softly, very sweetly, but very grave voice he tells him, and उनको बोलते हैं कि it is impossible. He says, don't you realize that Bharat loves me as much as you do? You may claim that you love me, Bharat loves me equally. There is no way ever possible that Bharat would come here to attack me. ऐसा तो हो ही नहीं सकता है. उनको बहुत सारे रीजंस देते हैं and ultimately he says, Ram says, Lakshman starts realizing his mistake. As Ram is speaking to him, Lakshman starts realizing मेरे से गलती हो गई. भरत को मैं कैसे गलत समझ लिया. Right? So imagine Bharat has been misunderstood by Kaushalya, by Guha, by Bharadwaj, and by Lakshman himself. Who is Lakshman? Lakshman is the original spiritual master. उनसे भी वो misunderstand हो गए. Now Ram chastises Lakshman and finally tells him, I cannot imagine that Bharat would want to harm me even in his mind. Forget about physically. अपने मन में भी मुझे कोई हानि नहीं पहुंचा सकते भरत. And then he says, has he offended you in any way in the past? मतलब आप इतने गुस्से से भरत के बारे में अभी बात कर रहे हो, कहीं भरत ने आपको कुछ बुरा भला कभी बोला था क्या? Was there something that he has offended you? He says, see, if you are so set upon killing Bharat, then एक काम करते हैं ना, that I will tell Bharat to give the kingdom to you. You take the kingdom and you go to Ayodhya, and Bharat will stay with me over here. Lakshman, yes. So he says he will very happily stay here with me with tree bark and you can roam over the broad earth. ऐसा राम उसको बोलते लक्ष्मण like he's like I am so sorry he shrinks. तो वैसा मूर्छा जाते हैं लक्ष्मण जब ये सुनते हैं. He says I'm sorry I made a big mistake and he realizes his mistake. So now Bharat, Bharat also he sees that उनका जो hut है where Ram, Sita and Lakshmana are staying, it's a leaves का hut लक्ष्मण ने बनाया होता है. So in that hut he sees there's a fire burning. Fire उनका sacrificial fire चालू रहता है हमेशा. So Bharat sees from a distance दिख रहा है, जरूर यही जगह हो। ही रचित है, ही एंड शत्रुघ्न दे रश एकदम भाग भाग के आगे चले जाते हैं, एंड बाकी फुल बिग आर्मी हैज टू फॉलो, दे आर कमिंग। तो भरत rushes ahead and he meets with Ram. The moment he comes into that place in Chitrakoot, he sees Ram. He sees Ram is wearing, bark, and Mother Sita is wearing bark, Lakshman is wearing bark. The moment he sees this, he just, first of all, he prostrates himself in front. I can't see this. मेरे को ये दिखा नहीं. He says, alas, here is my elder brother who deserves to sit in a royal assembly. He is seated now in the company of tears. मतलब ये क्या हाल बना दिया मैंने मेरे भाई का. I am responsible. Alas, alas. He says, what a cruel destiny. Here is that exalted soul who should wear garments worth unlimited, but he's wearing the bark of tree. All this is because of me. He says, woe to me. I am condemned to the whole world. सारी दुनिया मुझे बुरा भला कहने दो. मेरी वजह से ये हुआ है. So this is Bharat's consciousness that he feels fully responsible. He is not like, मैंने मेरी माँ ने बोला मुझे नहीं पता. He feels it's my responsibility. My because of me. तो मैं पैदा क्यों हुआ? Why was I born? By my birth I have caused this inconvenience to Ram. So when Ram sees him, now Ram, see this is Leela, it is Ram Leela. So the Lord is acting as an ordinary human being. So Ram sees that Bharat is also wearing deer skin. His hair is matted, and he's saying he's coming with so many people. So he asks him that, "Arey, tu अकेले कैसा आया? Where is father? पिताजी नहीं आए. Where is my father?" And he says, "Why you come with so many people? इतने लोगों को लेके क्यों आया?" So Bharat, first of all, now Bharat gives many arguments. Okay, so I'll just go through one by one. What are the arguments that Bharat gives that my lord, you have to come back? आपको वापस आना है, बस खत्म, मुझे कुछ नहीं सुनना. You have to come back. So systematically, how Bharat argues with Lord Ram that you have to come back. First, he tells him, see, मेरे माँ ने जो action किया, I didn't approve of it. मुझे तो ये acceptable ही नहीं है. So you please come back and become king. Okay? Ram rejects that. Then after that, then he tells Ram that our father has passed. It's very unfortunate. So Ram, every time he throws an argument, Ram throws an argument back at him. So I'll not go through that. In the end, I'll tell what are the summary of what Ram said. But every time Ram says something in return to what Bharat said, convincing that I will not do. And the way he speaks, Ram speaks with so much confidence and conviction that Bharat is convinced that अभी तो ये वापस नहीं आएंगे. पहले ही argument में वो समझ जाते हैं ये नहीं आएंगे. And he becomes very dejected, morose की अब आगे मैं क्या बोलूं? But he keeps trying. He doesn't give up. He keeps trying. He says the father has passed away. Then there is a description given that when Ram hears that father has passed away, Ram breaks down. And all four brothers, they start crying and they go down the mountain, they go to the river there, they perform the last rites again of the father, they do some tarpan, the Ram offers prayers and they're crying. By that time, all the others, queens and all the Sumantra, the ministers, Vashishta, all the courtiers, all the citizens of Ayodhya have also come to Chitrakoot by that time. So now the second argument that Bharat gives, Bharat says, see, father has passed away. It is a time-honored tradition that when the king passes, the eldest son of the king has to become the next king. So you should become the king. Right? This is the second argument, time-honored tradition. वो भी नहीं चलता. फिर तीसरा आर्गुमेंट देते हैं. वो बोलते हैं कि अच्छा ठीक है, मैं राजा हूं, अकॉर्डिंग टू यू मैं राजा हूं, आई एम गिफ्टिंग यू द किंगडम. वो तो मैं कर सकता हूं, वो तो आप रोक नहीं सकते. I am gifting you the kingdom. So you take the kingdom. The kingdom is yours. Ram says, whatever you may say, my father told me to be in the forest 14 years. I will come after 14 years. तब तक मैं नहीं आऊंगा. फिर he uses another argument. He says, I am powerless. He says, the power to rule the whole world, it rests with you, my Lord. I don't have that power. I can't fight. I can't do all these things. I'm young and inexperienced. मैं कैसे करूंगा? So Ram counters that also. He gives another argument. He says that, see, our father, under the influence of Kaikeyi's boon, he made a mistake. It was an error in judgment. गलती किया पिताजी ने. ये गलत उन्होंने decision लिया to honor the boons that he had given to Kaikeyi. He made a mistake. So isn't it the duty of the sons to correct the mistake made by the father? I am correcting that mistake. You come back. Ram says no to that also. Then इतना सब discussion होता है, and then Ram speaks to Bharat and to all the assembled people on the mountain slope of Chitrakoot. He speaks to all of them. It is described. A description is given. That only the sound of trees rustling the feathers, the rustling the leaves on the trees was there. Everyone was silently listening. Lord Ram spoke to them for 1 hour. 1 घंटा उनको philosophically समझाया. पहले तो philosophy समझाया. Like in the Gita, Krishna says, no, matra sparshas tu kaunteya, shitoshna sukha dukkha, agama apayana nityas, tansadiksha so bharata. This happiness and distress, this will keep coming. You just like summer and winter season keep coming, going. That way happiness and distress also comes coming and going. Don't be disturbed by this, just tolerate it. ये समय भी निकल जाएगा. तो उनको philosophically बहुत टाइम तक explain करने की कोशिश करते. So basically, he's still saying no. Bharat now is already used 4 or 5 arguments. वो बोलते हैं कि आप कुछ बोलो ना, मैं क्या करूं? He tells the citizens that why don't you plead with my brother to return? आप लोग कुछ बोलो. So one of the brahmanas who's come along with the Ayodhya-vasis, he says that what is the point? हमको बोल के क्या फायदा? Your brother he is determined to be on the path of dharma. He is not willing to give it up. हम बोल के भी क्या फायदा? He is not going to listen to us, right? So it is described that everyone who was there in that audience, including the great rishis from the higher planetary systems and the demigods, they also came to observe this wonderful conversation between Ram and Bharat. Because this is dharma at its peak. मतलब इससे ज़्यादा कोई ऐसा कोई conversation है ही नहीं. Where one person is insisting that you must take the rule of the earth, and another person is insisting that no, I shall not. In today's world, we see the exact opposite. People are insisting that I must be prime minister, and someone else is insisting that no, you will not. It's the other way. So yeah, very very powerful conversation, and it's described. Everyone in the audience, जो भी ये conversation सुन रहे हैं, राम जी और भरत जी के बीच में जो ये वार्तालाप चल रहा है, everyone was listening. They were enthralled. They were just मतलब क्या conversation है, right? Unfortunately, in the Ramayana, the way it is so beautifully described, I can't bring it out like that. But it is a beautiful conversation. You should read Ramayana, know how it is. And everyone is enthralled by this conversation between these two royal brothers who are discussing. दोनों का ये वार्तालाप चल रहा है, और वो साथ ही साथ वो प्रसन्न भी हैं कि ये कितना मतलब ये राम कितने दृढ़ संकल्प वाले हैं कि वो अपना सही पाथ नहीं छोड़ेंगे. They are amazed to see that Ram is इतने दृढ़ संकल्प वाले हैं जो अपना सही धर्म कभी नहीं छोड़ेंगे. ये देख के वो लोग खुश भी हो रहे हैं, और दूसरी तरफ वो लोग दुखी भी हो रहे हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि उन्हें पता चल रहा है इतने दृढ़ हैं, मतलब वापस नहीं आएंगे. He will not come back. Come what may, right? So this is that wonderful conversation, which is going on between Ram and Bharat. Now Ram, as I said, he speaks for 1 hour to all the people who are assembled and says, under no circumstance, किसी भी हालत में अपने virtuous father को हम लोग disobey नहीं कर सकते. उनके शब्दों का उल्लंघन हम नहीं कर सकते किसी भी हालत में. So Bharat भी, he is also, when he is instructing Ram, जो उनको instruction दे रहे हैं, वो सुन के भरत के हृदय में भयंकर प्रसन्नता है. He is very happy to hear the instructions given by his brother. His brother gives him instructions how to rule the kingdom, do this, do that. He is very happy to hear. But same time he is feeling, dispirited. के हृदय से ऐसे जैसे जान निकल रही है कि राम अभी मेरे साथ वापस नहीं आने वाले. उनको समझ जाता. So Ram now starts defending, right? I'll just very quickly go through. Mahaprabhu Hare Krishna. So first he says, our father, he says, our father Dashrath, all his life, he followed a life of piety. He was always a pious person. Now he says that he promised Kaikeyi twice, not just this incident. He says when he married Kaikeyi, he had promised Kaikeyi's father that your son will rule the earth. अभी दशरथ के देखो, मतलब सोचे समझे बगैर क्या क्या उन्होंने promises दिए हैं. तो हमें भी सीखना चाहिए. When you promise somebody, don't promise unless you mean it, because it's going to come back and bite you. At some point, it comes back and bites us. Right? So like that. So he says that twice he has promised Kaikeyi. He says whatever the reasons may be, सही reason है, गलत reason है. When he gave the promise second time to Kaikeyi, he was, not knowing what he is promising. Whatever the reason may be, promise तो ये था ना. तो ये promise अगर हम तोड़ते हैं, our father will suffer sinful reactions. That what promise you gave was not fulfilled, so he will suffer for that. Are you willing to accept? मतलब कि राम कैसे एकदम ब्रिलियंटली इसको दबाते हैं भरत को. बोलते कि अगर हम ये प्रॉमिस तोड़ते हैं जो हमारे पिता ने दिया है, हमारे पिता सफर करेंगे. आपको ये मान्य है? Obviously he can't say yes. He says our duty as sons is to fulfill that promise. वो जो हमने, मेरे पिता ने जो वचन दिया है उसे पूर्ण करना. As sons, it is our duty. You are saying that we should debate what father has done and try to correct it. No, father has given, and he has given as per laws of piety. He's not given some stupid promise. He has given as per the rules. So we have to fulfill it. No other means. और कोई रास्ता नहीं है. This is the only way. Okay. He says, you will be the king of the earth. I will be the king of the wild beasts in the forest. You be happy, you go back to Ayodhya. I will be happy living in the forest. So when this is going on, at one point, there is one Brahmana in the audience. His name is Jabali. Jabali करके एक ब्राह्मण रहता है. उसको अभी टॉलरेट नहीं होता. बहुत हो गया. सब लोग बोल लिया, सब लोग अभी मैं कुछ बोले. So Jabali, he starts speaking atheistic philosophy. नास्तिकवाद का फिलॉसफी वो कोट करता है. क्यों? टू समहाउ कन्विंस. ही नोस दैट व्हाट ही इज सेइंग, वो खुद उसमें बिलीव नहीं करता है. कभी-कभी ऐसा होता है ना, हम लोग कुछ बोलते हैं और हमें मालूम है हम लोग गलत बोल रहे हैं, बट जस्ट कुछ एक हासिल करने के लिए, कुछ पाने के लिए, we may end up saying things, right? So ऐसे ही जबाली, just to somehow convince Ram, he gives an atheistic philosophy. He said, why are you so attached to your father? ये फादर क्या लगा रखा है? फादर का वर्ड फुलफिल करना है. ये फादर क्या लगा रखा है? बोलते हैं कि anyway your father is just flesh and bones. फ्लैश एंड बोन्स के पुतले के लिए इतना क्यों इंपॉर्टेंस देना कि उन्होंने कुछ प्रॉमिस किया था? हम अकेले आते हैं इस दुनिया में, अकेले जाते हैं. Why all this father you are saying? He said we should work towards our own interests. We should all work towards our, पहला अपना स्वार्थ तो देखो. बोलते हैं कि आपको आपके पिता के, आपके मरे हुए पिता के उनके इच्छा के हिसाब से आपको सफर करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। टेक द थ्रोन, एंजॉय इट। राम, एंजॉय द थ्रोन। क्या है ये सब पिता पिता वो आई लेमेंट फॉर दोज हु forsake सेंस प्लेजर्स। जो सेंस प्लेजर जिनके हाथ में आ रहे हैं, जो उसे छोड़ते हैं फॉर हॉस्टिलिटी ऑफ रिलीजियस लाइफ, आई लेमेंट फॉर देम। बेवकूफी है। He says, you should now renounce your foolish asceticism. राम होता है knowing this, अपना ये foolish जो asceticism बोल रहे कि मैं फॉरेस्ट में त्याग कर दो, इसका छोड़ दो इसे। होता है you should not depend on your for your happiness on anything outside. जो अपने एक्सपीरियंस में है वो एंजॉय करने का। आपके एक्सपीरियंस में राजा बनना है, आप राजा बन जाओ बस। Accept the kingdom, enjoy it as an undisputed ruler. So Ram, when he hears this, right? Ram जो है खड़े होते हैं, बैठ जाते। He sits down, starts talking to Jabali. So he convinces Jabali उनको पहले logically उनको explain करते हैं अच्छे से कि ये आप, अरे आज बच्चे एकदम फुल फॉर्म में सब लोग आज फिर बनेगा। तुम्ही तुमच्या लॅब मध्ये घ्या, तुमच्या बरोबर चांगला बसतो। So Ram first convinces him, philosophically that what you are saying is wrong, and then वो बिना बजा के रहेगा, चाहे जो कर लो, मैं तो बिना नहीं छोड़ती। Very clear. Okay, so Jabali ko Ram tells him that he says that I understand. Ram doesn't get angry with Jabali for speaking atheistic philosophy. गुस्सा नहीं होते, पर उनको वो वेरी ग्रेव वॉइस में उनको समझाते हैं that ऐसे बात मत करो, don't talk like this. You are a brahmana. For you to mislead people like this by speaking atheistic philosophy is a very great sin. So he tells him. So basically, he is telling him that I understand you are doing this out of love for me. This is not the way. कुछ अपना एक philosophy बना दिया on the spot, ऐसे नहीं होता है। So again, so we have to also understand from this that sometimes we may end up taking certain decisions in our life, right? We should not concoct, invent our own philosophy, for achieving our own needs. तो हमें जो चाहिए उसके लिए हम लोग philosophy adjust करेंगे, ऐसा करना नहीं चाहिए। Now finally, Vasisht. Okay, Vasisht, just another 10 minutes. Is it okay? 10 minutes. Vasisht is also there. Who is Vasisht? Vasisht is guru of Lord Ram. He is guru of his father also. मतलब कुल गुरु एक वो बोलते हैं वशिष्ठ पर he defend Jabali. Vasisht defend Jabali. Is that out of love he is saying what he is saying? Don't take words seriously, my lord. But then he tells him that see, he also out of love he tells Ram that see, I am your guru. मैं आपका गुरु हूँ। I am in higher position than your father also. Correct? No? Philosophically, guru is the one who is given higher position than own father also. He says, I am higher than your father. You should listen to me. I am instructing you that you come back. तो वशिष्ठ बोलते हैं कि मैं गुरु के हिसाब से तुमको इंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहा हूँ, तुम वापस आओ, बस यू कम बैक। हाँ, ब्रह्मास्त्र ऐसा लास्ट इक्का जैसा लास्ट फेंकते। But then Ram explains to him. Ram also very affectionately looks at Vasishtha and he acknowledges that I understand आप लोग प्रेम से बोल रहे हो। Says but father mother का debt ऋण जो है बहुत heavy होता है। He says that our father and mother are the ones who care for us, nurture us, they feed us, they put us to bed, they apply oil on our body. These are all words from Ramayana. He says they feed us, they put us to bed, they massage our bodies, they apply oil on our bodies. They do so much service to us. बच्चे की कितनी सेवा करते हैं माता पिता। So he's saying, I am greatly indebted to my father and my worthy father's word should not prove false due to my negligence. So for his love, what love he has given me, I have to now reciprocate. Here is my opportunity. I am sorry, I will not come. And Bharat now final एक point बोलते हैं. It tells he has realized ना भरत समझ गए कि तो ये आने वाले हैं. तो भरत उसको बोलते हैं, भगवान राम को बोलते हैं कि you know that actually I am very young and inexperienced. And again he says that I am very young and inexperienced, and therefore I will not be able to take this responsibility. He says that इतना बड़ा राज्य संभालने का मेरा तो अहिपत ही नहीं है, मेरा औकात ही नहीं है. I can't do this. How will I be able to do this? I can't do it. I'm just being very practical. So Ram tells him very beautiful point. 2 points he tells him. He says that 2 things. And this is something for all leaders. All people who are in leadership capacity, or who are at least aspiring to be leaders. He says you have 2 things. He says 1, he says your greatest qualification is your humility. He says you are so humble. This is your greatest qualification. He says always seek the advice of learned Brahmins and rule with confidence, a jewel amongst men. This is what he tells Bharat. He says that you are humble. This is your greatest qualification. Okay. If you are not humble, if someone gives you advice also, will you take it? अगर आपको कोई नसीहत देता है, एडवाइस देता है, लेकिन आपको लगता है कि मुझे सब मालूम है, आप क्या सिखाओगे? मैं सब मालूम है. I don't take your advice. I am great person. I am Vaishnav. I am this. भयंकर अगर प्राइड है, तो वो प्राइड से आपको कोई कुछ भी बोले, आपके एक कान से लेकर दूसरे कान से निकल जाएंगे. Like Raman was like that. He was so proud. उनको जो भी बताया, जो भी all the advice that was given to him, he just refused to accept because he was so proud. So Ram tells him your greatest qualification is you are humble. Now take advice from learned Brahmins. So the point is, this is the structure that kept the Vedic culture alive for millions of years in India. For millions of years, the Vedic culture remained alive because of this. Because the kings did not take independent decisions. Are you with me, Revishna? Kings did not take independent decisions. They would take all decisions consulting the Brahmins. Brahmins were pure. They did not depend on the king for their sustenance. That's why they were independent. They could speak honestly. वो कोई salary नहीं लेते थे. Whatever Bhiksha said, they were alive. Whatever came as charity, they would take it. Right? So they could speak the truth. The Vaishyas and the Shudras, they would also contribute for upkeep of Brahmanas. So Brahmanas were well protected. Brahmanas were well protected, Dharma was protected. To protect the Brahmanas and to protect the Vaishyas and to protect the Shudras, Kshatriyas were very powerful. But it was not blind power. It was power guided by the Brahmanas who would rely on the Guru Sadhu Shastri. The Vaishyas would generate income, generate employment. From the money they earned, they would give taxes. They were the only ones who were earning money. They would collect taxes, they would generate money, they would give taxes to the Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas with that taxes would rule the kingdom, would ensure Brahmanas are taken care of, all the others are taken care of. The Shudras were those who would serve all the other 3 classes. It was very well organized. But the core of it was the purity of the Brahmins. In Kali Yuga, that got lost. Which is why today, this what we call the caste system is actually a completely polluted version of the original Varna system, which is created by the Lord himself in the Gita says, Gita Krishna says, Chaturvarna Maya Shishtam. Guna Karma Vibhagasha. It's divided on Guna and Karma. It doesn't say Guna Janma Vibhagasha. Guna Karma. So like that. So then finally Bharat, what he says, he brings some wooden sandals which are gold plated. He keeps those sandals in front of the Lord and he says, uh, Dear Ram, you please place your lotus feet on them. And Ram immediately he says that this sandal will rule Ayodhya. I will rule on behalf of these sandals. I will still place you. These sandals I will take as your symbol and I will place them on the throne of Ayodhya. I will never sit on the throne of Ayodhya. I will place them there. Let these shoes be the rulers of the kingdom, and I will remain as their servant. For the 14 years, I will live in a hut outside Ayodhya. I will survive on fruits and roots. My hair shall be matted. And he tells Ram, if at the end of these 14 years, 1 minute beyond these 14 years, if you don't come, I will end my life in a blazing fire. This is the ye hota hai nishtha. This is that love that we talk about between brothers. Bharat says that 14 years I will rule on your behalf. Sandals will be kept on the throne. And it is described in Ramayana that he would do that. He would, whenever any decision was there, he would look at the sandals, keeping it in abeyance, he would take decisions like that. So Ram says, so be it. And he places his feet in the sandals, and Bharat and everyone goes back. And finally, Kaikeyi, everyone is leaving. All the queens, everyone has met Ram, they're leaving. Kaikeyi comes in the end. And she meets Ram in private. So when she meets Ram, she first acknowledges. She says that I have been a fool. I'm sorry. She apologizes. I've been a fool. I've acted like a fool. That you are surely the Supreme Lord. Says your human-like pastimes bewildered me. I got fooled by your behaving like a human being. But you are surely the Supreme Lord. Says, please forgive me and destroy my attachment to family and my Lord. She recognizes the Supreme Lord and she begs. So Ram says, I understand. He said, this is all happening by my will. So this is the first indication. He says, this is all happening by my will only, and don't worry, go back, you do your activities, always think about me, and your life will be perfected. So like that. So then Bharat finally he moved, and not just Bharat, even Shatrugna. Both of them they moved into a wooden hut, eating only forest fare, and like this, then uh, like this, he would submit the affairs of the state before Ram's sandals. Only then he would carry out any necessary action. Any gifts he received, he would offer to Ram's sandals. And in this way, he ruled the kingdom. So we will end here. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Shri. Hare Krishna. So we'll do kirtan for a few minutes. Hare Krishna.